Today's video is sponsored by Picker's Grip. Stop dropped picks and pick rotation while playing with Picker's Grip. Made with all natural ingredients in Virginia. Check out their website to order. When you support my sponsor, this also supports my channel, and it's very much appreciated. Baritone guitars. They're actually good for anything? As it turns out, yes, baritone guitars are actually awesome. Particularly for somebody like me who does not really care much for 7 strings, certainly doesn't care for 8 strings and beyond. It's not my thing. So, I was on the prowl for a baritone guitar so that I didn't have to keep tuning down one of my standard 6-string guitars all the way down to drop W or whatever it is I was trying to tune to in order to play in a really low tuning. And then having to restring guitars and set them up and all that kind of stuff. So it just made more sense for me to actually look into a baritone guitar. I had never owned a baritone before, and so I was browsing the interwebs and stumbled across this beautiful Chapman ML1 Baritone guitar. I now finally feel like I am part of the cool kids club because I think I was about the only guitar guy on YouTube left that didn't own a Chapman. So now I have one, and I must say I am very, very impressed. This is a finish that they call Mallow. This was actually my second choice. They have another finish called Abyss that I really, really liked, and that's the one that I really wanted. However, that also appears to be the most popular finish that this guitar comes in, and the weight on it was significant. So I went with my number 2 choice instead. And I still waited for several months for this guitar to arrive, but it did finally arrive. So very, very cool finish. A ash top, swamp ash top, I believe. So very beautiful finish. Ash top with I believe, mahogany body, though it's painted so you can't see the grain, which is fine. 2 Chapman proprietary humbuckers called the Sonorous pickups, I believe, which is a kind of a moderate output ceramic magnet. I believe the actual specs on them are 12.5K resistance on the bridge and 10.5K resistance on the neck pickup. Again, ceramic magnet, and complete with a push-pull control on the tone control for coil tapping of both pickups. Locking tuners, Chapman branded tuners, I'm assuming probably made by Godot or somebody like that, because they do seem to hold tune very, very well. No problems whatsoever. I believe a graphite nut, and I believe these are also stainless steel frets on top of an ebony fretboard and a maple neck. My biggest concern when I ordered this guitar was the neck. And not so much the not so much the profile, though I'll get to that here in a minute. My biggest concern was the fretwork. Seems like more and more often these days, when you buy an import guitar, it's your chances are greater and greater that it's going to show up with sharp frets on the edges. Matter of fact, I was expecting that with this guitar. I was expecting that to happen. I was probably gonna have to file a few frets to get them all smoothed down. The way that I like them, and they are smooth as a whistle right out of the box. I was shocked. They, not only are they smooth as a whistle, but they're actually rolled on the ends. This is probably the finest fretwork I've ever seen on an import guitar. The neck profile itself is a little bit fatter than what I'm used to playing. I'm used to playing pretty thin necks. Between, guitars like my Music Man Majesty, my BC Rich ASM Pro, and, my Schecter guitars with the SLS neck profile. Those guitars all have really, really thin necks. This one is slightly fatter than that, though we're certainly not getting up into, Gibson baseball bat territory or really anywhere near it. But it is a little bit fatter than those. Probably, if I were to compare it to something, probably a little bit closer to like the standard Schecter neck profile, like what you might find on the Hellraisers and some of those other guitar models, the ones that don't have the SLS profile. Probably something a little bit closer to those. But certainly still very comfortable to play. Scale length on this thing, I believe, is 27.5 inches as opposed to the standard 24 3/4 or 25.5 inch scale. Standard 27.5 inch baritone scale, which is what makes it tuned down basically a full 2.5 steps from standard E. So standard tuning on this guitar right out of the box is BEADGB. Also, right out of the box, this guitar comes strung with power cables on it. These things come strung with 12 to 60 gauge strings right out of the box. I played on them for a few minutes and hated them. I don't like heavy strings like that at all. I cut them off because of the longer scale here. The longer scale will apply more tension to the string. So I was able to get away with much lighter gauge strings. These actually are 9s that I put on here. 9 to 42, as opposed to 9 to 46. So I have 9 gauge strings on here, and it performs just fine. I wanted to go with something lighter because I wanted that bottom end to kind of quit flubbing out on me a little bit, that it was doing with the big heavy strings. So I wanted to tighten up the bottom end anyway. But also, I just happen to like playing lighter gauge strings. It's more comfortable. And I figured as long as I was going to restring this guitar with my own strings, I might as well try the 9s for the first go around just to see what happens. And honestly, it's everything seems to be fairly stable. It is a little bit too springy, as Tony Ramsey would say, even for my taste, but not too much. So just a little bit. I will probably go 10 to 46 or maybe 10 to 52 next time around. That's probably what's going to live on this guitar for the rest of its life. The 12s are awfully heavy for my taste. Nines are, pretty comfortable for me on most other guitars. Those certainly not most other guitars tuned this low, but I can get away with them on this guitar. I've read and heard about a lot of the same quality issues with Chapman guitars that everybody else has. So, I was prepared for those when I received this guitar. And I promised everybody I was going to be completely honest in this video when the time came. Rob Chapman nor Chapman Guitars did not sponsor this video. I bought this guitar with my own money. $579, by the way. Under $600 for a guitar with this kind of value. But I spent my own money on this. There is no outside influence going on with this video whatsoever. Every opinion of mine that you have heard in here is mine and mine alone. And I really don't have anything negative to say about the Chapman ML1 Baritone whatsoever. If you're in the market for a baritone and you're looking for one at a really, really good price point, this one could be for you. So, links to the Chapman ML1 Baritone will be down in the description as always, along with any other pertinent links to this video. Please do the likey, sharey, subscribey thing there at the end. And thank you so much for watching. Adios, see you later, bye.